So Rio, how did you come up with this idea? You were a big wine guy, right?
No, actually I was a Scotch drinker. I was fine with Dewar's and water, got me into lots of trouble, but that was my drink. And I was at a friend's house who poured a bottle of wine in a decanter. I knew nothing about red wine. I thought a decanter was just a fancy way of pouring wine instead of pouring it out of a bottle. So I asked him, why'd you do that? You know, like, you don't have to be fancy for me. And he said to let it breathe. And I thought, oh,
And this is
okay.
where the light bulb went off?
No, not yet. Then we're sitting out on his patio, and we had a glass about every 15 minutes.
Right.
And I couldn't believe how much better each glass tasted than the one before it. And I thought, that's aeration. Until we got to the end of the bottle, which is now an hour after it had been opened and poured, and it was like a different wine. What started out as thin and okay became rich and creamy and delicious. So I set off and I made a tube that was a foot tall and had 6 horizontal trays in it with holes drilled in them so that the wine would spread out and kind of aerate and then drip through the holes and splash and spread out and aerate. I poured wine through it and went, holy smokes, it works. It tastes better through that. So we continued down that line for a couple of months, trying different air hole configurations, different numbers of trays, different distance between the trays, things like that, until what I thought was the best one we had made, I took to a high-end wine store in my area, and the 2 owners were there. I had them try it. They tried it. They said, oh my God, it works, but you'll never sell this. I said, why not? And they said, well, it's too big, it's too hard to clean, and see if you can make it out of glass. So I was kind of ready to, give up. Gee, that was fun. We drank a bunch of wine. We had a bunch of fun testing. And I was ready to go back to the software thing. Then I was looking on the internet, and I read an article where in the beer making process, if you pass it through a Vinturi, V-E-N, you get better tasting beer.
And this is where the light bulb went off.
And that's when the light bulb went off.
All right.
And I thought, Vinturi, I know that. That's physics 101. Vinturi is based on Bernoulli's principle, which states that as the velocity of a fluid increases, the pressure within the fluid decreases. So when you pour wine in the Vinturi, it creates a pressure difference which draws in the perfect amount of air for the right amount of time, and wine comes out tasting as if it's been decanted for an hour or more. So I did some research into Vinturis, and I got lucky. I was introduced to someone that worked at the Chrysler concept car division, and I explained how Vinturis work to him, and I bought him some acrylic material, and I kind of left him with that. And it was only about a week later he called up, and he said, hey Rio, listen to this. And it's the first time I heard the Vinturi sound.
That's amazing.
And that was the start of the engineering part of the Vinturi. So we tried that for a while, and it was, hey, this thing really works. It works great. And then I got lucky again that he found a concept car designer at Chrysler that did the Vinturi shape that eventually became the final product.
But getting it made was not that easy either.
It was not. Every step was a lot of work, and every step took a lot longer than you'd think. So what I found in that manufacturing process is that if any dimension is off more than 5/1000ths of an inch, it won't work correctly.
Wow. Amazing. Well, you did it. It works great.
We did it. Finally did it. Thank you.